Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I am taking a look at Super Mario 64 for the DSi. Yes, for the DSi. So you've got Super Mario 64 for the DS, which was an official release by Nintendo, and recently I've been playing Super Mario 64 for the 3DS, which is a port from the N64 version directly to the 3DS, adding in all sorts of awesome features. Stereoscopic 3D, full use of the circle pad, but sandwiched in the middle there is a port for the DSi, and it's a DSi exclusive, and you'd need custom firmware to run it because it's a homebrew game. Now the DSi was far more powerful than the DS and the DS Lite, twice as fast processor and 4 times as much system RAM, and this is a fan port of the N64 version brought over to the DSi, taking full advantage of that extra little beef that you get and extra little power that you get from a DSi over a DS Lite. Now don't get me wrong, the DS Lite version of Super Mario 64 was fantastic. It was a launch title, it was to show off what the DS could do, and it is fantastic. To cram that sort of game onto a little handheld system and make it look superb was fantastic. Obviously they dulled down the graphics a little bit, but they increased the textures to try and compensate for that. And on the DSi, with this N64 DSi exclusive port, it's done extremely well. I've been playing it recently and it still suffers, however, from that same problem that you've got a D-pad to mash, and I just can't really play Super Mario 64 on an 8-way kind of directional thing. It really just doesn't control very well. On the N64 you had the stick, and on the unofficial 3DS port you can use the circle pad, which makes absolutely superb fluid movement. It's a good game, it's a good port, and to move it over to the DSi is fantastic. But if you've got a 3DS, then I would highly recommend going for the 3DS version. It just adds so much more. And I compared the DS version, which was an official release, with the DSi port from the N64, and graphically I still think the DS version is better. Like I said, they had to sort of dull down the graphics a little bit, but they compensated that with the textures. Side by side, the official DS version, it looks a lot cleaner and crisper than the unofficial DSi port. Now, hats off to whoever did this DSi port. I think it kind of started off as a bit of a joke, and then he thought, well, this actually looks pretty good, and it is good. If you're looking for the actual N64 version rather than the DS version, because the DS version was a port of the N64, but they added so much more in. Multiplayer mode, you could play as different characters. I think you started off playing as Yoshi, whereas if you wanted to play the N64 version in its almost original glory, then the DSi is a great port. But if, like I said, if you've got a 3DS, go straight to that. It adds a lot in, and it's just a nicer port. But I'm not in any way trying to say that the DSi version of Mario 64 is bad, because it is a superb effort. It is a fantastic game, and I've quite enjoyed playing it. It's just that I've got lots of different versions that I can pick from, and it's not my go-to version. So that is DSi version of Super Mario 64. Let me know what you think. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.